All right, TikTok, tell me if I'm tripping or not. So me and my fiance, we are getting married, right? And to be a part of our wedding, you have to pay $450 for a ticket, and that's for each guest. So we invited friends and family to our wedding. Tell me why everybody that we invited has declined the invitation. We already have spent 100, maybe almost close to $200,000 on the wedding. We have already pre-ordered the cake. We already put down a deposit for the venue. We've already got the wedding dress, everything. We pay for everything for the wedding, DJ, photographer, everything for the wedding. And what I don't understand is that y'all spend 400 more money on stupid stuff, but you can't come out to support your family and your friends at a wedding. Like, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell it like, is we wrong? We like let me know. Let me know. Because y'all pay for tickets, Beyonce tickets, $1,000 tickets. Y'all going to go meet Chris Brown for $1,000 something. But when it comes to your friends and your family, you can't pay the ticket. Like these weddings ain't cheap. Like the weddings ain't cheap. Like what's going on? Like I don't get it. Like let us know, are we wrong for charging for a wedding? Like I really want to know.
I feel like wedding culture is out of control. There are so many people we can blame, but right now I'm going to blame social media. I'm going to explain to you, ladies, why your dream wedding can be unrealistic. It may be unrealistic. I feel like the amount of energy and money and investment that people put into weddings, some people even going into debt, is crazy and unnecessary because literally, who are you trying to impress? I'm not saying that you can't have your dream wedding because every girl deserves to have a dream wedding, but is your dream wedding unrealistic? Because everybody think they can have that big splashy wedding. What people don't realize is that we do not live in a classless society. There is absolutely a class system in place and it's not going anywhere. I don't care what political ideology that you guys want to look at, whether it be communism or socialism or whatnot. I don't care. Class is not going anywhere. And I want you, if you're watching this video right now, to assess your status in society. Because a lot of people that are working class think that they are middle class. Some people that are middle class think they're upper class. A lot of people are confused because we are living in a time where we are the wealthiest we have ever been in recorded history, right? Of course, the lines may be blurred, but I'm telling you that there's absolutely a class system in place. Next week on my Patreon, I am going to be talking about the hidden rules of class, and that's going to be on my aspiring socialite tier, which is basically a tier or a series which I created for women that are actively trying to move up in class. If that's what you want to do, this is for you. The link is in the description. Let's go back to this class thing. We have 3 classes and there are different levels to every class, right? Because, for example, middle class, we have lower middle class and then upper middle class. And then we have upper class, aristocratic class, and super wealthy, like, I don't know, like the Rothschilds or something like that. They are basically at the top of the class food chain because this is a family that has a long history. They have a long history. Even before they got to America, it's a family that have been marrying into aristocratic families for many generations, right? So I'm not going to go into them. I'm going to talk about the people that are more likely to come across this video. And the people that are more likely to come across this video are people that are the working class, okay? If you are of the working class right now, your ancestors were most likely from the peasant class, or if you are a person of color, particularly of African descent, your ancestors were probably slaves, okay? But let me say this real quick. Not every Black person is a descendant of slavery. All right, let's get this out of the way because we have a lot of wealthy African people in Africa, and we have people in Africa that are of royal lineage, okay? So I'm specifically talking about Black people in the West, and I'm usually referring to Western culture because I am a Western woman. I'm from the Caribbean, and the Caribbean is considered Western because the Caribbean is part of the Americas. So if you're working class right now, more than likely that is a result of generational poverty. And your parents probably are working class. your grandparents were also working class, and your kids are more likely going to be working class. That's how the class system works, because it's not as easy to get from one class to the other unless you get education, a network, and wealth. And those things can be achieved, okay? You can move up a class or two. This is quite possible. Let's talk about the weddings, because obviously this video is inspired by that video where the man was basically complaining about nobody wanted to come to their wedding because they were charging their wedding guests $450 to attend per guest, okay? It's not like, you can bring a friend or something like that, per guest. This is insane, because I feel like if you are charging your guests $450 to attend, you cannot afford that wedding. You can't afford that wedding. And we have to remember what the definition of wedding is, because marriage and wedding are two different things. Marriage is a legal union, something that is recognized by law. Wedding, on the other hand, is just a party for your friends and family to celebrate your marriage. That's basically what a wedding is. So in reality, do you really need a wedding? And of course, by all means, you go ahead and have your wedding. I'm not discouraging wedding. Me and my husband, we got married, and it was a very, very small, very intimate ceremony. And I do not regret it, because me and my family are not that good anyways. And at the time, I didn't have a bunch of friends at that time. So who the hell was I inviting? I want people to be realistic about your dream wedding, okay? If your dream wedding is you wearing a designer dress, and then you change into another designer dress at the reception, and maybe your dream wedding is a destination wedding, like you going to Lake Como or whatnot. When you go to work, you clock in, or you're an hourly worker, or you get paid weekly or fortnightly, then you are delusional. Unless you're marrying someone super wealthy, like you're married into a wealthy family, which is very unlikely if you are an hourly wage worker, because there are levels to hypergamy, okay? On my Patreon, I have an event on my Patreon where I talk about hypergamy tiers. I think there's a part 1 and a part 2. There's different levels to hypergamy, okay? The girl that is flipping burgers at McDonald's is not going to be marrying a billionaire. She has to put in a lot of work in order for her to even get there, to be in the same circle as a billionaire. A lot of people have these dreams, and I don't like to say a dream is unattainable, because most dreams are, in fact, attainable. However, if you have this dream and you're not doing anything, nothing, absolutely nothing to work towards that dream, then that's basically what it is. It will always be a dream. It will always be wishful thinking. If your dream wedding is like a Sophia Rishi wedding or an Ambani type wedding, where, that Indian couple back in India invited literally everybody in Hollywood to their wedding. If that's your dream wedding and you are a manager at, I don't know, a restaurant or something like that, then that is just wishful thinking. This is the easiest way to tell what class you belong, okay? For example, if you're working class, more than likely you clock in, you are hourly paid, weekly paid. That's how you know that you are working class. If you're middle class and you go to work and you have an office with your name on the desk or your name on the door, you are middle class. I don't care how much money you have. If you are working for someone, you are either working class or middle class, okay? The finance bro in my previous video, he has a job, and that's his main source of income. I don't think he has multiple streams of income or whatnot, but go back and watch my last video about the male gold diggers. Okay, he has a job. You go to work and your name is on the desk or your name is on the door to the office or whatnot, you're middle class. If you go to work and your name is on the building, your family owns a building, then you are upper class. If your dream wedding is a destination wedding to the south of France, and all your guests are flying in, and what's his name? That guy that sing at Kim Kardashian's wedding. What's his name, y'all? Oh my God, what's his name? Some Bocelli something. The guy that is singing at everybody's wedding. If he is the guy that is singing at your wedding, then yes, you're upper class. If Oscar de la Renta design your dress, then you are definitely upper class. Then that wedding is very much realistic. Y'all are living in La La Land. And it's okay to be Delulu, all right? There's nothing wrong with being Delulu. But at what point do we stop and face reality and be like, you know what? maybe I shouldn't go into debt to have a wedding, and maybe I shouldn't be spending so much money on my wedding that I have to charge my guests $450. I mean, at what point does common sense and reasoning comes in? That's what I want to know, because I am sick and tired of seeing these crazy wedding stories all over the place. I'm tired of it. Weddings cost money. They cost money, especially if your dream wedding is a wedding that you might see on Pinterest or something. Everybody wants to have this dream wedding, but nobody don't have the life and the bank account to back it up. Like nobody, like, really? Are you kidding me? Now, a middle class wedding, you book a venue in your hometown. I don't know, maybe it's like a hotel or something like that. Your dress is going to range from $7,000 to $15,000 US dollars. That's what your dress is going to cost if you are middle class. So let's say between $5,000 to $15,000, or it could be up, it could be even, no, let's say $5,000 to $15,000. Okay, and I'm talking about US dollars. All right. That is what we're working with. Okay, because a $5,000 dress, if I were to get married, that is reasonable. A $10,000 dress, for me, that is reasonable as well. Even a $15,000 dress, because I am middle class, I can sacrifice and, get a dress that costs that much if I were to get married again, right? But knowing me, you all know me, I wouldn't even spend, at this stage in my life, I don't see myself spending $15,000 on a dress. I'm just saying, $5,000 is $5,000 to $7,000 is the sweet spot for me, because some wedding dresses can go up to $30,000, $40,000. Okay, let me see how much did Sophia Richie wedding dress cost. We all saw Sophia wedding's dress, right? This is the dress at the wedding. And I think she had 3 dress changes or something like that. All right. And she was decked out in Chanel, Chanel bridal wear. Okay. Chanel bridal wear costs around $100,000 to $250,000, which means Richie's custom couture could have easily been priced somewhere around $800,000. This is what we're talking about here. You all think, oh, this is amazing and this is a dream wedding. Like, you all need to stop buying bridal and stop looking at these Vogue weddings. Unless that's a life that you're actively manifesting, by all means, go ahead and manifest that lifestyle. But it's going to take you, especially if you're coming from working class or middle class, it's going to take some work to get here. It takes a lot of work, a lot of transmutation and alchemy, and a lot of spiritual work and mindset reprogramming and stuff like that for you to even get there. Okay, because just trust me, it took me a lot of work for me to get from working class to middle class. And sometimes that work takes years, especially if you are coming from generational poverty. I don't know why normal people, are paying upwards of $100,000 here, $150,000 here just to rent a venue. Like, what is wrong with people? I don't know how much he and his soon-to-be wife paid, but if you're charging guests $450 to go to your wedding and you're not doing like a regular registry like a normal couple, then something is wrong. You are hustling backwards. Something is wrong. I know so many people, okay, and I'm talking about regular working class people that went into debt just to get married, that took out loans to get married. Do not ever take out a loan to get married, because you do not know if that marriage is going to last. You don't know. Rich people can afford to spend millions of dollars on a wedding and divorce 2 years later, because those millions of dollars is nothing. And let's go back and look at the history of weddings itself, not marriage, weddings. Okay. Back in the day, it was royalty and the aristocratic class that could afford to have these lavish weddings. Back in those days, there was no middle class, and there were just rich people and peasants. Peasants, they probably just got married in the barn and drank beer or something like that. I don't know. I do not know what they were drinking or what they were eating back then, because when you go back in history, if you really pay attention to history, and if you understand the hidden rules of class, you would know this. Most of recorded history was recorded by wealthy people, meaning that people who were able to read and write, people that were literate. Poor people, even to this day, do not keep records. They don't keep a lot of records. Wealthy people are really good at keeping records. And because of this, nobody wasn't paying attention to the peasants. No one was really paying attention. Nobody was really recording the life of a peasant. It's very difficult to find historical information, recorded information, like actual recorded information about peasants. Okay, you can get recorded information about, slaves, because and when I say slave from the 1600 up until the end of slavery, because that was pretty recent. That was very recent. That was only 400 years ago. But I'm talking about back in the day, the only people that was having these weddings were the noble class, because they were the ones that could afford it. Now, people are looking at these wealthy people getting married, and you look at that dress and you think, oh, that's just a simple dress. No, that's not a simple dress. That dress cost $250,000. And Sophia Richie comes from money, and she married old money. All these girls on Pinterest that are having these beautiful weddings. Okay, a lot of those girls are middle class. Okay, a lot of those couples are middle class, but let me tell you something. I have something to say to you ladies, because I talked about this on my Patreon a long time ago. Okay, and the ladies that have been following me from day one, they know this. This is for the new girls that are just coming in. But I'm telling you all, your dream wedding can very well be unrealistic. If you're not willing to put in the work, which means that putting off relationships and putting off marriage to grow your wealth and get yourself in the right circle, build a network so that you can actually meet the man that can give you that dream wedding, then it's only a dream. Most women are not willing to put off marriage for a few years or a decade or even 15 years and get married later in life. Most women are not doing that, because women that are smart are women that are freezing their eggs. If you're in your 20s, why are you not freezing your eggs? And also, if you're very young, you should sell some of your eggs, because eggs, you can get a lot of money from that, and that can give you a good start. You can use that money and start a business. Like, y'all are not thinking. Like, I swear to God, people are just lazy or something. Because honestly, there's no reason for people to be broke, because if you have a phone and an internet connection, you have no reason being broke. However, if your dream wedding costs millions of dollars and you're not a millionaire, then that's just a fantasy. Middle-class wedding, on the other hand, yes, some of these weddings are nice, but they are no way as extravagant as the weddings that you all are aspiring to. These weddings that we see on social media, that Indian couple that got married recently in India, that is not normal. That is not for normal people. I mean, can you imagine Bill Gates coming to your wedding? Influencers coming to your wedding? Do you know how much it costs to have a wedding that influencers and celebrities would like to attend? It costs a lot of money. Some middle-class people can afford the destination weddings. They go to Barbados or whatnot. They can book that, book the venue way in advance and stuff like that. That's something that is attainable if it's within reason and within budget. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we have these broke people out here getting married, absolutely delusional, taking out loans to get married. I would never, ever advise anyone to take out a loan to get married. That's a bad financial decision. Entering your marriage in debt is not a good idea. Most couples argue about money. Okay, money is the reason why a lot of marriages fail. People are not equally yoked, because people are not coming together with the people that have the same type of money mindset as them. Some people are not even marrying people in the same tax bracket. A lot of Black women are marrying broke men, uneducated men. And then we wonder why so many marriages are failing. Because y'all are not marrying within your tax bracket. You're not marrying within your class. Because if you think marriage have anything to do with love, well, then you are delusional. There's a reason why wealthy people marriages last longer on average, because they don't have to worry about money. They're not struggling to pay their bills after their wedding because they went into debt to get married. I know people personally, okay? Personally, I saw my cousins get married. All the couples that went into debt to get married, they all divorced now. My cousin, her marriage lasted 3 years. And I was a teenager when that girl got married. And even as a teenager, I was about 15 or 17. I don't remember how old I was. But even at that time, I knew that marriage was doomed. I knew it was doomed. And I do not know in what universe people are charging people to go to their weddings. Like if it's a concert or something like that. Are you insane? Like I can't imagine doing that. If I throw a birthday party, I don't charge people to come to my birthday party. I decided to throw this party because I wanted this party for me. If I'm getting married, I am not charging people to come to my wedding. Wedding culture is out of control. A lot of people are delusional. If you have to go to work and clock in, or you're getting paid hourly, you're an hourly wage worker or something like that, you have no business trying to have like a big wedding. Now, I do not know if this man is working class, but if you understand the hidden rules of class, I already know what we're dealing with here. We are dealing with someone that is coming from generational poverty, because people with wealth are not thinking like this. And they're not talking like that either, because I've never heard someone say spun as a past tense for spending money. Like, I've never heard anyone said that before, but you know what? I digress. Wedding culture is out of control. Okay, ladies, what I want you to do, I want you to look at your dream wedding, okay, the one that you have in your mind and the one that you are already planning out or whatever. Or maybe you're getting married right now and maybe you're trying to, or maybe you engage, or maybe you're trying to figure out who you're going to invite to your wedding or whatnot. Ask yourself, can I afford this wedding? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Am I going to debt if I have this wedding? That's another good question. And the final question is my dream wedding unrealistic? Because if you're getting married right now and you're struggling and out here bargaining and stuff like that, and you don't want to pay the $15,000 for the wedding dress or whatnot, like if that's you, or you're thinking of charging your guests or whatnot, then your wedding or your marriage is doomed. I'm sorry. That marriage is already on rocky ground. Like, the foundation is not strong. Money, finances is the foundation of all marriages, not love. I'm sorry, not love. Whoever you choose to get married to is a financial decision. Never in any point in history were people marrying for love. Only recently in human history, people are marrying for love. And how is it working? It's not working. It is not working. Take marriage off the pedestal, put off marriage, okay, work on yourself, get your shit together, get your education, get your money up, and then at that point decide if you want to get married. I know nobody wants to hear this because people still believe in love or whatnot, you know? I am not like Shira. As much as I love Shira, I'm not like Shira. I'm not going to tell you, girl, go date this old man or whatnot. That is up to you. That is not what I'm teaching you. I have no problem with that, okay? Because, you know, if you can find someone that is willing to help fund your lifestyle, by all means. But this is not the channel for that, okay? But anyways, that's my thoughts on the current wedding culture. It's so ghetto. Anyway, if you reach this far, like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notification, and thanks for listening.